What's up? How's everybody doing? This is Press X to Start Podcast Season 6, Episode 9. I am your host, DJ, a.k.a. Sexy Bad Choices, a.k.a. we just had so many jokes slick before the podcast. I'm not gonna say it. I want to say it. I'm not gonna say it. AKA we talked about Horizon Forbidden West, so that's gonna be a thing that you're gonna check out with your eyes and your ear holes. Check it out. Who else is here?
Oh, good. It's your heavyweight champion from Witch Nigga, California, aka the janitor because we watch niggas, aka Thottery Barn.
It's not even every once in a while. I think he spends a lot of his time just thinking up what are the most ignorant things that I can call myself. And he once again struck gold. I mean, this is a man who calls himself professionally felon degenerate. So, like, I expect gold when he comes up with this. This is the reverse Tony out here.
Oh, God. I am Sean MF Ross.
What the MF stand for?
Did you know I was originally supposed to host this podcast because DJ was going to go renew his Jamaican card? He said he was lacking on his macking and his boom was not backing.
Wait, how do you what goes in, what's the criteria for renewing one's Jamaican card?
We can't reveal it.
Oh. Rewind select.
You go to the back of Negril and you get it. I'm sorry.
Now you know 10 men with machetes are gonna pop up at your house tonight.
Right.
Redhead niggas in the lobby.
Avery?
Who's left?
Oh yeah, I'm Avery. I'm sorry.
You there. Maidenless and mustacheless.
Okay. First of all,
Oh damn.
How dare you bring that shit up on the podcast? That's some personal shit. That's some like.
Wait, which part?
Now I'm just sad. Now it's just sad.
The maidenless or the other one?
You know what it is.
Either or, motherfucker.
Oh god.
I totally forgot to do a thing that I normally do on all these podcasts, and especially this being Women's Month, so happy Women's Month. And I got another AKA. Do you know who Latoya Peterson is? Anyone? No?
You're gonna tell us though.
Yeah, I am. Latoya Peterson is co-founder, the chief experience officer, and technology director for Glow Up Games, a gaming company with a POC lead team. Yes, she.
Okay.
Yes. Glow Up Games' most recent project is a mobile life simulation hip hop game, Insecure: The Come Up, which is directly inspired from Issa Rae's hit television show Insecure. In addition to her work at Glow Up Games, Peterson is also a prolific and award-winning race and culture writer for places such as Kotaku and the New York Times, as well as a 3-time judge at the World Video Game Hall of Fame. That's really cool.
So she has a hip hoppy game just like Forspoken. Amazing.
Just like Forspoken.
That authentic swagger of black team.
The exaggerated swagger.
That's why we can't have nice things, you know?
I'm sorry.
All right.
Oh god.
That is who we are, and that is who Latoya Peterson is. So make sure you check her out and check up the Insecure: The Come Up game whenever that comes out. I'm not sure. I need to look that up and see.
I need to put that on my fantasy list.
You should. That'd be a good move. So as I said in my AKA, I just want to make a little announcement that we beat Horizon Forbidden West, and we had a review. On that review cast, it was me, Avery, and Sean. Marcus hasn't beat the game yet, so we excluded him from the conversation.
Wow. They just said Marcus was absent for reasons. Nah, so we excluded him.
I mean,
Joke's on you. I'm gonna find out how the game ends anyway.
All right. That's that. Make sure you check out that review because it's great and it's great content. And you need great content in your life, and we provide great content for you. So make sure you do that. Anyways, the highlights for this episode of the cast, we're going to be talking about the Overwatch 2 beta and what changes is going to actually happen in that game. That's going to be very interesting, and a lot of people are not super happy with. God of War is going to have a sitcom TV show. Or maybe just a TV show. I don't know. We'll see.
Me and Mike Boy.
Right?
Oh, you.
Fucking Leviathan just shows up at random parts of the day. And I was like, woo, woo.
Right?
Y'all got any food?
Oh my gosh. And then we're going to be talking about the state of play. And the state of
whack.
PlayStation state of play. Jesus. Hey, don't spoil it, man.
Sorry.
Don't spoil it. All right. With that being said, and now you know what we're going to talk about, let us jump into the quick hits. Avery, take it away.
Oh, sorry. I stepped on your toes right there. Hey, everyone. It's me. It's Avery. I'm doing quick hits again. Once again, going to do my best. Trying to keep it simple. Trying to keep it moving. This is actually a really big news day, so I literally cut out a bunch of really cool stories I wanted to talk about. But whatever. Let's keep it moving. Our number one story is, this one is a really cool story. This is from IGN, from Joe Screbble. It's a made-up name. Like I said, yes. Pretty sure just the IGN UK guy is it's a ghostwriter. Like it's a ghost name. Like what's the name in Alan Smitty for film? They don't want to put a name on it. Just put out the Joe Scribbles. This joke went on too long. Anyway, fan favorite ex-Bethesda director Akumi Nakamura introduces new studio Unseen. Now I have a lisp, so it comes out pronounced the exact same way she pronounces it in Japanese.
Look at you, just international.
Wait. So it's Unsenin?
No. The katakana pronunciation of it is Unseen.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
I should
nice.
put an H in there.
This nigga said,
because it's the word unseen.
It's Japanese, Marcus.
Anyway, Akumi Nakamura, who grew to fame during that Bethesda press conference where she came out on stage to show off Ghostwire Tokyo for the first time, and
being cute.
From what I was told, she had a normal script, and they were like, "Throw that shit out there and just be yourself." So she came out, she did the whole and then she said spooky, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm in love with this woman." Anyway, she came out. She was working at Tango for like maybe 6 more months, and she quit, and she's been working freelance in the industry for the last couple of years. During that time, she also had a baby, and according to like an IGN interview with her, she the way she describes having this kid is kind of weird. But that's neither here or there. It's just a funny thing. She had a kid. It's regard Game Informer. Look up the Game Informer article on her. It gives a lot of insight of what happened with her leaving Tango, and it's essentially like, from what it sounds like, she had conflict with Bethesda, and then she was constantly under stress, and it was affecting her health. So she eventually stepped away. Then she did a lot of freelance work because of the whole E3 press conference. She became the talk of the town. So she traveled the world, hung out with Cory Barlog, Ubisoft devs. She's been doing a lot of really cool stuff for Rainbow Six, where she's designing Japanese-inspired yokai skins for the Rainbow Six operators, which actually look really dope. Long story short, she's been working in the background. I've been wondering what was going to happen with this woman, because if in my head, if I'm a AAA publisher, I'm gonna give this woman some money, put together a small team, and see where we go from there. Instead, she's followed the AAA indie situation, in which she's put together a small team. Well, she's put together a team from people from all over the world, essentially.
Yep.
It's not just Japanese devs; it's devs from other parts of the world as well, to make Unseen her brand new development studio. Yeah.
I'm interested to see what comes out of this.
Yeah,
good on her.
It's really cool that she's able to I guess bounce back isn't the right word, but like not just get swept up in the whole like, all right, well, she had her time and that was it, and now we don't know what's happening to her. Like she actually put it together a little team, and she's gonna be making games, so that's gonna be really cool.
She's gonna make her 15 minutes of fame 30 minutes.
I mean, she's a fantastic. Like, there are very few video game developers who I actually follow on Twitter for like who actually like a good follow. He was one of them because that man he's either fucking shaking his own hand, like putting a medal on himself and just retweeting like people talking about how great his games are, or he's like showing off some random avant-garde French film he watched and like, these are my thoughts on this. I'm like, okay, you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But she's another person where it's just like, oh, she's a wild person.
Really? Okay.
Like,
I have to follow her on Twitter then.
There's an entire arc of her discovering what horny jail was. And she's also an artist, so she has her own like anime 4-coma like avatar of herself that she does for making jokes. And the saga of her discovering what horny jail is was fantastic.
That's awesome.
Okay, our next story. Overwatch 2 beta starts in April. PvE being decoupled from PvP. This is from GameSpot, the fifth place for Elden Ring coverage, and from Chris Carrera.
The shade.
So this is Overwatch 2 has been a weird type of vaporware where we all know it exists, but doesn't exist, but we all know it exists. Like there's an entire esports league depending on it coming out, and it appears that the beta has started, and it's a closed beta, so it's essentially going to be for only developers, close acquaintances of developers, and people involved with the Overwatch League. So it's not really a real beta, but it's essentially them getting the stress test out. They're also decoupling, and this is what I'm kind of confused about, the PvE from the PvP. I don't really know what the actual like mechanics of that are going to be, but from what they said, it will allow them to get PvP content out much faster. And then there's going to be a closed beta as well for PC sometime in late April. So actually Overwatch 2 is happening, and half my internet timeline is finally a drop of water.
I signed up for the beta, so we'll see what happens.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, I got an email. And
PC beta. Let me clarify that.
Oh, it's PC.
Oh, well.
All right. I literally retracted my answer like you are. Well, Marcus, hopefully you get it.
I mean, if I get it, I'm not going to be able to play it because I don't even have a PC.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
You have a BlizzCon account.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I know we had a brief little bit of discourse in the group chat. Sean specifically says that this Overwatch 2 should have been a game that no one talked about until it was 6 months out, and then they should have released it.
Yeah, they're in a weird spot, right? Because they were still supporting Overwatch 1.
That's the problem.
And they stopped supporting it, and it's just like, all right, well, where's the content? Like, what is happening? They had to be like, all right, well, we're working on 2.
Yeah, they had to reveal 2 because if they said nothing 3 years ago when we were all playing Overwatch and they just stopped updating and we're like, I guess it's done, and then they're like, no, it's not done, but where's the content? It's not done.
We probably should not done. Just play the old content.
I mean, as big as that company was, though, they couldn't have 2 different teams, one working on the first, while other people laying down the bare bones for the second.
The issue is they're the same game. That's the problem. They can't.
So even more so, then why can't you have?
Like, here's the thing: if they kept putting out content from Overwatch 2 into Overwatch 1 before Overwatch 2 came out, they couldn't justify selling Overwatch 2.
I just heard the most comical sneeze. I think that was from outside. There was a full period after the sneeze. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Stalker outside your window.
Achoo!
The sneezing stalker. I get what you're saying, Avery. It just
They got sneezing ghosts.
I mean, they do it with Call of Duty. I don't see how.
Well, Call of Duty is a yearly game, so like, and we're on the
I hear
cadence
you.
of that. Like that game comes out every year.
I mean, there's
And I
no
think-
justification for buying Call of Duty any more than there would have been for.
Because every Call of Duty game, despite sharing the trappings of having the exact same systems, is a different game. And the issue with Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 is that all the content, except for the PvE stuff, is going to be in Overwatch 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the other thing we have to just, I guess, be aware of is that, like, we are operating from the idea of like, oh, Blizzard is working as a normal studio. They're working fine. Like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the case. And like, that's why they kind of fumbled the bag in terms of, oh, there's all this time that was spent, quote unquote, working on this game, but like nothing really to show for. So it's just like, what is happening? And that's why we're just like,
Sean.
what is going on?
They couldn't expend more bodies for Overwatch 2 because half of the team was too busy doing damage control for Activision Blizzard.
That's not wrong. I think something that slipped in the post Jeff Kaplan leaving is that a lot of the issues with the game were due to like publisher versus creative differences in like how the development was going, and like the creative, especially after Kaplan left, the creative team they had there didn't really know what to do going forward.
Yep.
So it took them a while to figure it out. And now we've got 5v5, aka if you're a off tank player, I'm sorry, you've lost your job.
Yikes. All right. Before Avery talks about the new sitcom that is God of War, hey, you watcher and you listener. We hope that you've enjoyed our content as much as we enjoyed doing the content. So do us a little favor and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button too, and that notification bell if you haven't done those two things already in a previous podcast, because I say it all the time and still you don't listen to me. I can't believe this. Our relationship's not working out and I want a divorce. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, dark. Incredibly dark. This man's married for wife and child. Moving on. Our next story.
Jamaican, so this is a side relationship, but go ahead. By the way, your new card is coming in the mail.
Oh, thank you.
And
You're my reference.
anyway, our next story is from The Verge, from Emma Roth. Sony's reportedly looking to bring a God of War show to Amazon Prime. This was broke by Deadline. And if we're talking, this is some concept I really want to hear Marcus talk about. But there's not much to talk like in terms of what we know beyond that. It's being led by the team behind The Expanse, which has me very interested because they put out a really good show, and Amazon let them hit the high notes it could have, even though it was truncated. But being executive produced by the creators of The Wheel of Time, so like that's also like I'm a little suspect about what we're going to get out of the show. I have my thoughts, but I want to hear specifically from Marcus about how he feels about this.
I am curious. Personally, I think that they should get Craig Robinson to play Kratos.
Who's Craig Robinson?
He should. He could sing all the time.
Wait, who's Craig Robinson?
He's Daryl from The Office.
He was in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh my god.
He's the Pontiac Bandit from
The Pontiac Bandit from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. No, but in all seriousness, I think, unlike Last of Us, which I actually feel works better as like a TV show, because even the way that the two games are formatted, they feel like watching miniseries, especially the second one. God of War, I always felt like it would work best as a movie. And so I am curious to see what direction they go with it from a TV perspective, especially since they're most likely going to be focusing or centering it around rebooted God of War rather than OG God of War. And
Yeah.
I feel like, if anything, kind of like how I feel about the Last of Us television show, where I would rather see them kind of explore gaps in time between the games so that we could see like, oh, what they were up to in between 1 and 2, or let's expand the world a little bit and see them put together some original stories in there so that, you know, there's something that differentiates it from just, oh, I could just go play the game and watch the story. Yeah. I kind of feel the same way with God of War, where they have an opportunity to kind of maybe even explore how the hell he got to Jotunheim, and like, you know, because the third game ends and then the reboot happens and he now has like a wife, or a dead wife, and a child, and he's living with the Norse. And I'm like, how the hell did this happen?
How'd you end up here?
Yeah. I mean, like, so I think they have like an opportunity, if they so choose, to fill in that blank. Because I just wouldn't want them to see, I wouldn't want to see a show that's basically just the game. You know what I mean? Because then I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah. That was a very intellectual take from Marcus. Here's my take. I want a live action Hercules, but as Kratos.
Man, it would be nice to see if people took him seriously as an actor and he wasn't playing himself all the time. The Rock, or maybe even Batista.
I could see Batista.
The Rock have done this movie. It's called The Scorpion King. It's but no, I'm very
Neither
much
one of them can put all the voice.
Yeah, I'm very much in line with a lot of Marcus' thoughts in this. I'm a fan of PlayStation's creative, like outside of video game like offerings, especially considering I think it's going to be the future of IP going forward, and it would be the smartest thing you can do to figure out how to get more money out of these products that are big in video games and other medium in order to. Like, I say this a lot about comic books. Like, as much as I get angry at comic book movies for changing the way comics work in the media and all that fucking synergy, in which, hey, if you're a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy, I hope you're a fan of these 5 characters, because that's all they're going to be, the Guardians of the Galaxy going forward. Mm-hmm. The success of those movies justify having those comics exist. And so that trickle down should theoretically work with video games, especially in these margins. That being said, I'm also of the mindset that, like, I wanted this to be movies, because, like, thematically it works a lot better as a movie to do the God of War, like, Greek saga as movies into this, instead of what I think is going to happen is someone saw this God of War game, like, we could turn this into a show, and they're just going to do the game, and they're not going to do all the shit that came beforehand, which I'm of the mindset that shit that came beforehand is so integral to Kratos in this story, into all these aspects. Me and Marcus had this conversation. You could easily do it without
like pre the first game, like when he was actually warring about
the first 3. Yeah,
no, pre God of War PS4, all the other God of Wars and all that. Me and Marcus had a conversation, and like I agree that you could easily do the story of like this God of War and just have flashbacks or allusions to all of that, but like, I hate the character of Kratos. I hate him because I played 3 God of War games, which were fun, but he is a monster. Yeah. Which is why when I get into this game and I see the person he is now, it becomes a very interesting experience to see that journey and that growth. And you can easily do that. You can easily do this is my backstory. We're going to touch on this. But I think it's a more powerful storytelling decision. And this is me fully going into, there's no such thing as money, there's no such thing as like an audience, there's no such thing as a budget. I'm just thinking about the pure artistic merit of, nothing would be cooler of them to do 2.5 God of War films of the Greek saga, and then open up into a show that explores the long form build of that. But that's not what we're getting, and we have no idea what this is anyway, so that's just me speculating.
I mean, honestly, I'd even...
No, that's it. Moving on, but go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that, like, I'll even say that, like, I feel like you could kind of have your cake and eat it too, in a way of like having at the very least, first season of this God of War show take place after the 3 games, but before the 4th one, and kind of really have it be this exploration of who Kratos was that got him to this point, and then have him meet his wife and have the kid and everything. And then the end of the season is them leading into the 4th game where she's gone. And then we know that they have to go on this journey together you can. Yeah.
No, if Santa Monica was controlling the destiny of this film, that's probably what this TV show, that's probably the direction they would want to go on. And it would be more sense. But that's probably not what we're getting. We're probably getting the distillation of what is the most popular version of God of War. That being said, if you want a studio with a budget to make your online show, Amazon is the best to go for. They have so much money to burn. They are so willing to burn it. Like, I don't
That's
like if this was going to Netflix, I would have instantly cringed that we're going to run into some Witcher style budgetary issues going on for. Kratos is going to be finding a lot of trolls and rubber masks in studio slots in Anaheim. But I think I'm confident in the show at least looking good.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to our next story. This is from Kotaku, who have finally got out of union jail. So good for them. They were striking earlier, so there were stories from Kotaku, but unfortunately they were being taken from other Kotaku affiliates and to put on Kotaku, which is cringe. But that's not a hero there. But this one is actually from Kotaku. Anyway, Nintendo indefinitely delays war game over invasion of Ukraine. This is from Ethan Gotch from Kotaku. This is them talking about Advance Wars has been delayed specifically because of the essentially the Russian invasion of the Ukraine.
Yeah.
The timing of
Russia's messing up my damn fantasy league bracket.
Wait, I thought I bid on that. Or did you?
It's on my list.
Oh, okay.
John got so many games. You don't know what he got.
I mean, you still have time to drop it, though, I think, Marcus.
Yeah, go ahead, Marcus.
I definitely know I can drop it. I'm just going to wait and see because they said they delayed it, but they didn't say how long it was delayed. So
this isn't the stalker situation where like the actual fantasy league is warning Jordan, hey man, you might want to drop this game. I don't think it's coming out.
Drop it, Marcus. Do it. Drop it.
It sucks that the hard work of those studios for whatever they were doing, it just isn't going to be seen in a timely fashion, if at all.
What's interesting about this is that this game is supposed to come out next month, and so like as a direct result, this isn't going to be like this is something I learned from Kind of Funny. So shout out to Tim Geddes for this information. This isn't going to be like we're not going to print discs, carts, and we're not going to put anything on the digital store. We've probably already gone gold. We've already shipped stuff to stores. It's just going to be sitting there on the floor in case these games are going to get out somehow. It's going to happen.
It's going to be pirated.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But it's a good move on Nintendo Park though, because although they are nowhere near where the war is or where the invasion's happening, and like they're not like, this is Advanced Wars is a very like fictional cartoony game about war and so on and so forth. It's still just a good move not to put out your war game when there is like actual shit happening in the real world that is affecting and killing people.
We'll see how fucking Call of Duty deals with it because this is going to go on for a long time, and we'll see.
Call of Duty's gonna be like, oh wait, this doesn't happen in Ukraine. We didn't know. We had no idea.
No, this story goes in unison with a couple of other stories. One, this is from CNBC, from Ryan Brown. Sony, PlayStation, and Nintendo suspend sales in Russia over the Ukraine war. So Sony and Nintendo have officially joined Xbox, EA, and a bunch of other developers and publishers, and that they're stopping the sale of their products in Russia, freezing that. However, there's an addendum to this story. This is from IGN, from Ryan Leston. Russia reportedly legalizes piracy of games, movies, and more. So Russia has been like all these sanctions and all these bodies being like, hey, we're not going to sell stuff to you because of sanctions. They're like, fine. Then we're just going to legalize the piracy of your work, and that's how that's them being like, we don't give a shit about your sanctions. We're in this for the long haul.
Yeah.
Does that mean every time I torrent now I'm supporting Russians? I don't know how I feel
Possibly.
about any of this.
What's really sad is that what this does is it punishes the people who are taking the righteous stand against a unjust war. In that, cool, not only is your work going to get out there, but it's also going to get out there for fundamentally free, which means you're not going to get paid for your work.
Right.
Which sucks.
It sucks. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
And then our final story is a bit of a negative banger right here. Is that this is from Axios from Stephen Totillo. 8 more women allege sexism at PlayStation intensify lawsuit. So this was a story I had on our quick hits that I posted in our Slack or in our Discord ages ago. Not a lot of people reported on it or talked about it in any detail because it was such a small story, and that it was one woman alleging something from ages ago. And so, like, not only people picked it up and talked about it, but what essentially happened was this has been going on in the background. PlayStation were like, hey, we want to dismiss this outright because, like, there's not enough, like, fucking information or, like, cause to be, to actually have a lawsuit about. And the lawyers came out and said, we have 8 other women, some of them currently working at PlayStation, who are also attached to the same amount, the same content from our original lawsuit. So it's essentially, this is an incredibly bad look for PlayStation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As far as I can tell, none of these women are from major development studios. So this isn't like the development studio at Sucker Punch has issues. This isn't like the developers at Naughty Dog are having issues. This is very much the support staff at PlayStation, Sony PlayStation proper are having issues within the company about sexism. Now, in the grand scheme of all these conversations, this is not as bad as everything going around Activision Blizzard, but that doesn't mean it should be dismissed outright as something that we shouldn't talk about and address. This has been... I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with this story, in that this is happening everywhere. This has been happening everywhere. It's only getting the light of day through certain places. So I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop everywhere else.
Yeah. I want to see what PlayStation does with this, because, you know, the hope is that they aren't going to be like the other companies like Activision Blizzard, and they are going to take the appropriate measures and take the appropriate actions. But, you know, you can't hold your breath. So
I mean, you would think after seeing news story after news story, catastrophic stuff going on in the industry, not only in video game industry, but just period entertainment, some of these companies will try to be proactive and try to clean house and make sure that their shit is good to go.
yeah,
Never underestimate the hubris of big business.
I guess.
also facts. Yeah. So Avery, I added the Forspoken thing on there just because I thought that was like kind of a shocking thing. It wasn't really shocking, but you know. Did you look that up or anything, or?
I mean, it's not much to look up. It's like, this is from the IGN, from Joe Scrubbles, a made-up name. That Forspoken has been delayed by almost 5 months. This information was brought to us by the Forspoken team.
Yeah. You know, my apologies. We could have talked about this during the heavy hitter. I totally forgot that Forspoken was in there.
The Activision Blizzard deal would have been more.
Yeah. Now the only reason why I put the whole Forspoken thing in here is because I completely forgot that that was in the heavy hitter. That was in
yeah.
That was my fault.
In regards to that, Sean, it's like there are, like I said in the beginning of this, there are a lot of quick hits, a lot of them really interesting, a lot of really important. As much as the Microsoft the investigation in terms of insider trading in regards to the Activision Blizzard deal with Microsoft, that's like a whole can of worms, like another 10 to 15 minutes that we didn't necessarily need, that we can move on to our heavy hitters.
Yeah. All right. Well, that has been the quick hits. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcasting apps, and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share on your favorite YouTube channel, which is our channel. In case you missed any of the information and more, you can find it on our website at pressx2start.com. Yeah. You be safe. You take care. You wash your hands. You